friends. Welcome to Coffee Break. This is Dr. Michele Alignay. Magandang araw, magandang hapon, magandang gabi at magandang umaga sa inyong lahat wherever you are in the world. Yes, in the world. Welcome to Coffee Break. This is another episode that is, let's just say, refilling us to be able to cope well with our family and relationships, our well-being and faith life. Kaya, yung topic natin ngayong hapon, it's actually about spiritual well-being. Something that we don't realize that it's very important for us. So, as I move forward, please share this to family and friends. I know that I just go on live once a week, but kahit na there's a lot of things going on, I believe that it will be very good for us to still do this because it's my way of supporting everybody, of course, you guys. And as I support you, you support yourselves, you support the family that you love, and you support the missions that you have in your life. So, okay, tell me what's happening to you. Tell me what you've been stressed with and how you are doing this past few days, this past few weeks, because it will actually be good for us to have that at starting point. So, 'di ba? Ang gandang makita na, ang gandang makita na, oh wow, this is actually something that is critical. This this life of ours, it's supposed to be interconnected. Maganda natin, it will be very good for us to reflect that our in the things that we're doing, in the stress in life that we encounter, are we just going on with the flow or taking hold of our life and taking hold of our well-being? So I would like us to move into this discussion on spiritual well-being because many people, they think about spirituality in terms of religion. Honestly, I hear a lot of questions na ganito. Sis, yung bang libro mo pang Catholic lang? Sis, meron pa. They would prefer that in using, for example, Bible verse are connected, of course, to Christians and to Catholics. But didn't you realize that even it can be taken also as quotations, and it can be taken by other religions like a wise proverb, a saying, a mantra, a direct quotation from someone who said that, like an author. And exactly that's how we see it. The problem that we have is that when we talk about spirituality, we see it only, there are times that we limit our perception of it in the lens of religion. Tama ba? So pag kinumusta natin, ay hindi, kumusta yung spiritual well-being mo? Ang tingin lang natin dyan, it's all about, ay hindi talaga ako mahilig mag-church. Ay, hindi talaga ako, hindi ako prayerful hindi ako nagro-rosary. So we connect it to our practice of religion. But let's look at it, that spiritual well-being is actually related but not the same. Spirituality and religion are totally different areas. We, as individuals, part of our well-being, it's actually our spiritual well-being. Part of part one dimension of our lives is our spiritual well-being, and spiritual well-being is defined as the affirmation of life in a relationship with God, and that God is actually whoever your God is. Maybe Allah, maybe it's another supreme being, and you may be in another religion. But it's also about your relationship with yourself, your community and environment, meaning nature, and you celebrate your wholeness because of it. So the four areas of our spiritual relationship is our relationship with ourselves, with other people, with the environment, and with God. Isn't it? Because isn't it nice to understand that spirituality is such, and we just don't limit it to the use of our religion? And looking at it, spirituality is, the word spirituality is actually from the word spiritus. It's the Latin meaning for breathe or breath of life. Diba? So yung hininga, breathing, breath. So come to think of it, friends. Isn't it that many religion, as especially the Eastern religions, are into meditation? Like they're into meditation, yogic breathing, and because they're harnessing the power of the breath, because that's life, that's the spirit in us. And if we look at it in another lens, we are actually both body and being. uh, we are actually both spiritual being and a physical being. So wag natin kakalimutan yan. So when we look at spirituality, it involves opening our hearts and cultivating our capacity to experience awe, reverence, and gratitude. So we nourish that kind of thing. And many times we I like that I like that line. It's from Dr. David Elskin. I read that in Psychology Today. He said that spirituality involves opening our hearts and cultivating our capacity to experience awe. Diba? Parang, wow, Lord, ang ganda nito. Reverence and gratitude. Reverence for something higher than us, na may mas gumagalaw na mas malaki at mas magaling kesa sa atin. And gratitude, we are thankful for everything that we have. We are thankful for whatever we have. So, come to think of it, the spirituality is that ability to see the sacred also in the ordinary things. You see, ay, gumagalaw yung kamay ng Diyos dito sa bagay na to. Nakikita ko yung galaw ng aking Panginoon, my God, in the daily events of our life. And also, it's also to know the passion of existence and to give ourselves over. This is what's important about spirituality. It's giving ourselves, crediting someone higher than us, higher than ourselves. That's what spirituality is. We are crediting someone higher than us. We are seeing the sacred in the ordinary. Ang ganda, di ba? Alam nyo, in all the business of life, sometimes what we fail to see is the sacred in the ordinary. Because we're so consumed with what do we need to do in our lives. We're so consumed with the details of our work. We're so consumed with putting food on our table. We're so consumed with all the issues in this world that we fail to recognize na, ay, teka lang, akin ba to lahat? Spirituality, in our spiritual life, the aim is actually, the beautiful aim of having spirituality is to bring about compassion. And compassion, I always talk about compassion now. The aim of compassion is actually to suffer with. And even when you say spirituality, so you are growing not just on with yourself, but you're growing with some other people, and you're suffering and feeling the suffering of other people, and you're helping each other in your walk. And spirituality, it's actually one of the main area of one of the critical area on how we can take care of our mental health. I repeat that spirituality has been found out to be one of the main aspect for us to be able to take care of our mental health. Eh, di ba ang ganda? Kasi ang nakikita lang natin, it's only the side of religion. And why did I say that? We just see that when we look at spirituality and religion is actually the religion is the vessel. Yun yung tingnan natin, the religion is the vessel by which our spirituality will grow. So, if there is religion, pero ang gagawin lang natin are the rituals of religion without really imbibing, hindi natin sinasabuhay kung ano yung natututunan natin with our religion, but we're just so concerned na dapat ganito sa misa, dapat ganito. Nothing wrong with the structure, nothing wrong with the ritual, but sometimes, even for example, if we're hearing mass, oh, ang ingay nung nasa likod ko, yung pare, ganito. And then parang, hindi ba nila na alam na dapat tahimik lahat? So, we become too consumed with the details and the structure that our human tendencies fail to actually harness the power of what religion can bring in order for us to grow in our spiritual life. Because the value of religion, first, is to connect us with our God, and second is that to enhance and for us to grow our spirituality. And right now, knowing that we are spiritual beings is for us to grow in our spiritual well-being. So religious involvement is found by researchers to enhance religious involvement is found by researchers to be connected and related with better physical and mental health, which is good. Which is good. So if we are involved religiously, it may, but it does not follow that we will have physical, mental health, and higher levels of spirituality. If we are spiritually well, we increase on our compassion, we have better relationship, and it can improve our self-esteem. Yes, because we're connecting ourselves with someone higher than us who will be very insecure kung alam natin that there is a God bigger than us and taking care of all our needs. So spiritual well-being was found out to enhance the quality of life. And I think many of us, you guys would agree with me. So if you are fully open to your spiritual experience through religion, dun pumapasok kung paano siya makakatulong sa ating mental health. So it's possible, hi guys, I know that you're here. So it's possible na kahit na religious ka, there are people who are very religious without being spiritual. So ito yung sinasabi ko that they're just there for the rituals. They're just there because they just would like to follow what the religion is preaching. They're just there because they, this is the way they know how. They are so rigid with how they look at religion to the point that they feel that this is the only way for me to be saved. I don't want to run into sin. So they operate in the image of God, and their spirituality or their religion is operating because of fear and not because of faith. Not because that they have faith in someone bigger. Kaya even though, as I said, okay, religious yung taong yan, but not all religious people can be actually spiritually well. But people who may be spiritually, who may be, it's possible to be religious without being spiritual. Yes, it's not possible to be spiritual without enhancing one's mental health, diba? So, totoo rin yan, nakikita natin yan. So, we need to learn how to enhance our spiritual well-being. Friends, kayo, ang tanong ko sa inyo, what are you doing? What are the practices that you do to enhance your mental well-being? Ano ang ginagawa mo to enhance your mental well-being? Diba? Nasaan ka dito? Saan ka pumapasok? What do you do to enhance your mental well-being? What do you do to be able to take care of yourself, to nourish your spirituality, to nourish your spiritual life, to nourish your good side? What do you do? And for those of you who are here, you can just put there in the chat your answer. Carl Jung, one of the forerunners of psychology, is one of the theorists of psychology. He said that faith, hope, love, and insights are the highest achievements of human effort. They are found given by experience. So faith, hope, and love are the insight. Our insights are the highest achievements of human effort. So what are the benefits of spirituality? So we're looking at it. So they are found given by experience, said Carl Jung. But let's look at how can we benefit from enhancing our spiritual well-being. Many ways. One of the things is that ito yung favorite ko, savoring life experiences. Can you say with me, savor? For example, here, I have juice right now. This is turmeric juice. And I think these are slices of apples. So, savoring life experiences, yung kahit maliit na bagay na, yung we can actually enjoy the little things, the taste, the smell, the hug, the touch. We use our senses to savor. And if you come to think of it, it can actually, libre lang yan. Hindi mo kailangan nasa perfect beach, nasa getaway to be able to savor life. Taking time to reflect on your daily activities and ultimately can build lasting memories of that experience. That's why sometimes our tendency is just we in a very in a when we travel or when we're out or when we have these moments with the kids, we our tendency is that we ruin that perfect moment to savor the experience because we take a lot of pictures. Because this gadget, it's nice, you would like to capture it. I like that. There's nothing wrong with that. But there is something wrong with it if it's already getting in the way that there's it's gonna get in the way if we don't anymore experience with our eyes, with our smell, with our touch, with our ears, the actual experience kasi we're just thinking of the perfect picture to capture that. Are you familiar with this? Nangyari na ba sa inyo to? Yung bang hindi mo natitigan yung nature kasi gusto mo lang mag-photo op. Ano ba yung amoy ng hangin sa bundok? Alam mo yung amoy ng grass? Amoy ng trees? Di ba ang fresh? Were you able to savor that? Di ba? In that experience, actually favorite experience ko to, um, we went in 2020, just before the lockdown, we went to Galilee. We went to Israel, to the Holy Land. And in one of the highlights of our trip is actually the boat ride, the ancient boat, yung wooden boat that moved around the lake, Galilee Lake, during sunset. And yes, I took many pictures. I have that. But that experience, I did not allow that to just be what I'll do. I really tried to stare at everything and just be in awe and to savor that moment because that moment might not be there anymore. So minsan, alam nyo, it can be in this place that you love so much. It can be in the company of the people you love. And sometimes you savor also yung you call it mindful eating. You savor the food. Oh my God, I'm really looking forward to eat this for a long time already. And you savor that. So you can do a lot of things, but you need to learn how to savor life experiences. Bakit? Diba? That consciousness that ninanamnam natin, ang ganda sa Tagalog, di ba? Sabihin nyo nga with me, namnamin yung buhay. Pag ninanamnam natin yung buhay, those daily and little activities results to experiences of positive emotions that little things can bring the biggest pleasures in life. But when you try to look at it, this these things that we are experiencing, di ba hindi naman siya ordinary? Kasi parang it's not just a physical, it's not just psychological, but it's actually a very good spiritual experience. Kasi ako, when you look at nature, oh my God, thank you, Lord, for bringing me here. And then that experience of savoring also brings about that an experience of awe and brings about a tone of gratefulness. Nagko-connect-connecta. And it actually helps us. And it brings us, there. And that's one of the biggest benefit of why do we need to be more spiritual? To deepen our spiritual life so that we can savor experience, we can be in awe, and we can, take pleasures in the small things in life. Another one, my favorite topic is on compassion. So another benefit, why do we need to enhance our spiritual life is it's about compassion. Can you say with me, compassion? Experiencing compassion towards others is one of the strongest correlates with living a spiritual life. Do you know that a well-lived life or a deepened spiritual life, we can only be well if we do not only live for ourselves but for other people. Totoo yan. Kaya this pandemic, we've seen na ang daming tumutulong sa iba because that's the way for them to be well. Sometimes, di ba, the ministry save the minister. So if you are somebody who serves at the church, if you are somebody who you think kailangan ka ng ministry mo, kailangan ka ng community mo, but sometimes reflect about it. Isn't it that the ministry saved you also? Kailangan ko rin yung ministry. Kailangan din natin, tayo yung na-bless, tayo yung nag-grow. We are humbled. and we are able to give something of ourselves. And come to think of it, we are able to feel also with other people. We are also able to move and to act in ways to be able to alleviate the suffering of others. And when we talk about compassion, it's actually being moved. It's just not about feeling with others. It's being able to experience the suffering of others and doing something about it. So there, one of the benefits that we can be, it's the benefit of deepened spirituality, but it's actually part of spirituality in itself. That compassion, that sense of sharing, that sense of service, that sense of helping other people. Hindi kailangan i-post sa ating social media lahat ng ginagawa mong tulong. Kailangan mo lang tumulong kasi hindi naman din kala natin yung pera natin or yung way natin yung nakakatulong, minsan hindi mo alam, but it's actually the one saving you and giving you a bigger purpose. And connecting to our purpose is actually the benefit of our taking care of our, enhancing our spirituality is actually to be sent as self-actualized person. What do you mean by self-actualized person? If you remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the highest need of humans, as he said, is actually self-actualization. Friends, ano para sa inyo yung self-actualization? Ayan. Medyo technical to, pero para sa inyo, what is self-actualization? So, we strive toward a better life and consider personal growth and fulfillment a central goal. Growth and fulfillment, we don't get stuck. Hindi kung ano ka 10 years ago, dun ka pa rin. I'm sure ibang tao ka na, hindi lang yung itsura mo. Pero yung growth mo, may nangyari ba sa buhay mo? May naging kabuluhan ba? Dati hindi mo kayang mag-share ng blessings mo. Ngayon, kaya mo na ba? Sa maliit mong paraan, may nagagawa ka na bang kabutihan para sa ibang tao? Spirituality can be a path towards self-actualization because people focus on the internal values that we work with and we work on becoming the best version of ourselves. The best version of ourselves. Hindi ba natin gusto yon? That and then spirituality can actually enhance that. And when we are actually in this self-actualized mode, another area that spirituality can affect is actually flourishing. That's another topic altogether. But human flourishing, it's actually one of the highlights of well-being. That's flourishing. We are able to flourish in life. When you say flourish, di ba, parang ang bongga ng word na to. And when we flourish, it means that anything that we do, it's being blessed. Spirituality is linked to many important aspects of human functioning, and people with a good degree of spirituality have positive relationship, have higher self-esteem, optimistic, and have meaning and purpose in life. And that's what flourishing is. You feel good about yourself, you have good relationship, you are optimistic and have meaning and purpose in life. May kabuluhan, nabibless lahat ng ginagawa mo. Pero, yung mga taong nagpo-flourish, hindi naman sinabing wala kang problema eh. 'Di ba? Hindi naman walang sinabi sa flourishing that but there are concerns, but still amidst those concerns, you still have good relationship, you still feel good about yourself and in life, you're still optimistic and you have meaning. Nako, yan yung pinakamalalim na way on how we can actually harness the power of spirituality. Research have proven how spirituality helps in managing our stress, physical health, recovery, lifestyle, and of course, mental health problems, including depression. Kaya friends, alam nyo, kahit sabihin ng iba that they are not spiritual or maybe they're not religious, let's just look at spirituality is actually, it's it's inherent in our human lives. But some people just find a way to to just excuse themselves that hey, I'm not a religious person, I am a spiritual person, and we just respect that. But when we personally, I would say I'm not too religious, but I value my religion, I practice my religion, and I try to take care of my spiritual well-being. I'm not saying that it's perfect, I'm not saying it's a walk in the park, but in every religion, we are all wounded healers and we are all trying hard to practice our religion. So we have to realize that we have ways, we have to help ourselves find ways to enhance our spiritual well-being. And one of the things that we can do is actually meditation. Alam nyo, itong meditation practice, some people connote it for the longest time. It's connoted only or connected only with Buddhist religion, with Hindu. But come to think of it, even in the Catholic Church, even in Christian religions, there's a practice of religion. There's a practice of meditation. So ako personally, I use meditation app. I use the Hallow app, meditation for Catholics, because it's blessing me. It's kahit na 5 minutes a day of quiet, of and including including reflecting on the gospel for today. That can actually be a form of religion. So meditation, no matter what form that you do, it's not just you know no the traditional way that we look at it, that you are just there at the corner, but it can also be that you are reflecting. So meditation, it's actually connecting to yourself inside you, because that inside you, that soul inside you, it's connecting uh to the God around you, to the God on in your life. So that's the value that meditation can bring. So if you would like to explore this, there are apps that can help you. And of course, part of meditation is prayer life. I like this line that says, prayer does not change God, rather it changes us. Diba? Sometimes when we pray, I'm admitting I don't have a perfect prayer life. It's always a challenge. So minsan pag I'm getting bored with one thing, I move on to another, pattern to be able to find my groove. So prayer does not change God, rather it changes us. Tama ba? Hindi naman si Lord nagbabago. Minsan hindi nagbabago isip niya, pero tayo yung nababago ng dasal. So kahit na 10 years na natin pinagdadasal ng isang bagay, tayo yung nababago. Nagbabago yung buhay natin dahil sa dasal. Another way that we can actually have deepen our spiritual life is actually about spiritual readings that's connected to prayer, devotionals, and music. Personally, I use some devotionals, including the devotional from my own community, the feast. So we have, and I write for Didake. Didake is a devotional by Feast book. So it's a daily reading. It's connected to, those are reflections connected to the daily gospel reading. So they can be Didake, and also Feast books has companion. That's the Bible readings for the day. And also you can, every day I try to play good music, which is worship music. So, yan yung aking sounds pag nagtatrabaho. Because in every religion, we have a manifestation on how we can enhance ourselves. For some, it's really praying the rosary has a calming effect on them. For some, it's listening to a podcast. For some, it's going to mass. Ako, I appreciate now the online space, because even if I cannot go to physical mass, there's the online mass. But today, thank God, I was able to attend the online mass. So, spiritual readings, devotional, and music, those are tools to enhance our faith. And of course, religious practices. Wag natin alisin to, ha, because it's very important for us to find that connection with our religion. So mass and prayer service, no matter what you call it, these acts and practices connect ourselves to rituals aligned with our spiritual life. So alam nyo, tayo rin, ako personally, whenever I would have quiet time, pag I would take yoga, I would do my yoga practice in the morning, and I would actually have my meditation right after. I light up a candle. So para sa akin, just like in the mass, that there are a lot of ritual, I put some ritual because that ritual structure myself. But I don't want to be fixated on the ritual. It's just a way to structure, but it's still flexible. So I hope that you are finding something helpful here. So the first thing, it's of course relaxation, meditation. The set, of course, connected dyan is prayer, and of course spiritual readings, devotional and music, religious practices, and asa na ba tayo? Another, sense of awe and wonder. Ito yung kaninang sinasabi ko sa inyo. Either you look at the blue sky, watch the setting sun, you look at the sea, kung meron man dagat na malapit sa inyo, even the birds playing near the tree, or you can just hear the chirping of the bird, you can just be in awe of how the Lord created everything, how God created everything, how God orchestrated life. It is acknowledging that there is someone larger than us. Diba? Ako personally, when I was a young mom, pag tinititigan ko yung mga anak ko, parang I am just really in awe that there is a life that I gave birth to. And oh wow, hindi ko to kaya. Sinabing ginawa namin ng asawa ko, pero hindi naman sa amin galing pa rin. It's coming from the author and the maker of life. So we need to have the sense of awe and wonder, like little children, to bring in the feeling of connecting ourselves to the author of life. So friends, alam nyo, when you're all so stressed and tired, sometimes, naghahanap kayo ng bakasyon, naghahanap tayo ng, wala bang dagat dyan, wala bang bundok dyan. Minsan, alam nyo, in a very stressful day, only you have to do is just step out of your house and then look at the sky. Look at the sky. And then you will just be in awe of the cloud formation. Kung nandyan ka sa office, tapos mataas yung office mo, minsan titigan mo lang yung kung ano yung nasa labas. That sense of awe is like, oh wow, the world is still spinning. Even though I'm challenged, tuloy pa rin ang buhay. So that's one of the way that we can have a sense of awe. And of course, this is one another thing is that meaningful connection. So another is meaningful connection. Why? Laughter, touch, hug, conversations, di ba? There are just some people that you like to converse with, nabe-bless tayo pag silang kausap natin, and togetherness with loved ones. Pero aminin natin, hindi lahat ng tao nabe-bless tayo pag kausap natin. So, look for meaningful connection. You may see this as social connection, but meaningful connection is that these people gives you a sense of belonging, gratefulness. You develop a deep bond with the people closest to you, and these are spiritual experiences. Yung pamilya mong mahal na mahal, pagkasama mo, that can be a spiritual experience. It makes us feel connected, accepted, loved, and belonged. Sino ba ang author ng love? Sino ba ang author ng family? And that is, for me, it's my God. It's the Lord God. And number 9, the last. If you can have, look for a spiritual community. A spiritual community, alam nyo, ever since I was in the youth, I grew up in the youth ministry. Youth, singles, and then couples, until now. And that spiritual community is actually connecting yourself with these people na hindi naman perfecto. Pare-pareho lang tayong minomold. Pare-pareho tayong ginawa, pare-pareho tayong nag-journey. I like the analogy of one of our heads before. Ang sabi nga niya, ang community, it's like a hospital. Hindi tayo pumapasok sa hospital when we're well, but you go there because we're broken. So it becomes a spiritual community. It's like our support system. And I think I've heard of many people being blessed by communities, especially kung malayo sila sa pamilya nila or kung meron sila mismo concern sa pamilya nila. And that is actually the purpose. So personally, I belong to the Feast community. It's a supportive system. Like-minded people, we all want to grow in our faith. Hindi kami lahat perfecto. Kanya-kanya tayong issue dito, kanya-kanya tayong pinagdadaanan. But we would like to belong to a spiritual community. So even though that we may be, a spiritual community is made of humans, it's imperfect, but then they are protective factors to grow in our faith and to grow in our spiritual life. And more importantly, the last, serve a ministry. Serving a ministry, yan yung manifestation na parang there's more beyond us kahit yung pinagdadaanan tayo. Because serving a ministry is knowing that our talents is meant to be shared. Knowing that what we have, even yung kung ang resource mo is 100 pesos, yung 5 piso dyan or 10 piso, it has to be shared. Diba? Sabi nga, with tithing, it's 10%. Knowing and doing a life bigger than ourselves. Na it's forging connections. It's actually cultivating also our compassion. Ito yung sinasabi ko, when we serve, when we do our part, hindi lang tayo yung nakakatulong, tayo yung natutulungan. Because it gives us a bigger purpose than ourselves. So, these are the ways and means for you to be able to enrich your spiritual well-being. Serve a ministry. I'll repeat that. Find a spiritual community. have a sense of awe and wonder, create meaningful connection, religious practice, spiritual readings, devotional, and music, and importantly, meditation and prayer. Friends, alam nyo, hindi lahat to babaksak sa atin automatically and will be well. But you see, our God has provided us with resources. Ang dami niyang binigay sa atin. I think lahat to libre. Libreng huminga, libreng magdasal, libreng tumitig sa langit, libre ring tumawa at yumakap sa mga mahal sa buhay. Libre ring mag-serve sa ministry kung talento mo yung ibibigay mo. So, libre ring pumunta sa feast kahit nga online pwede. I mean, to look for a spiritual community. But the meaning of what I'm saying with you, is this helpful for you guys? What is it that you are doing now and what can you add on? What is it that you're learning? Ano dito yung nag-resonate sa'yo? But the meaning of all these things that I'm saying is that you don't just stop to be well. You just don't stop. Hay nako, ang dami kong ginagawa and I will just live my life personally. I will just keep to myself and let the world go by. No, it's not that. We need to continue doing something because we are both body and being. One of the main points that I really, unpack in my book. This is my book, You Can Care for You, The Soul and Science of Self-Care. One of the things that I unpacked here. So we see self-care as actually something na nandito lang sa labas. But honestly, pag we need to learn how to refill ourselves hanggang sa kaibuturan ng ating kaluluwa. Kaya yan, soul and science of self-care. And we need to take care of our spiritual well-being because if there are times that our bodies may fail us, so let's support our spiritual selves because we are both body and spirit. We are created physical and spiritual. So you have to learn to nourish both. You have to learn to take care of both. We have to learn to support ourselves in all aspects so that we can grow and flourish. We can self actualize and we can become the best version that our God, our Lord, whoever your God is, has created us to be. That's how we make life more fulfilling. And that's why we need to have better spiritual well-being. So that's about my discussion for today. I hope this is a blessing for you. The same way that the viewers here, you are here listening, is blessing me too. So continue the cycle of generosity, of blessing. If you feel that you would like to bless Coffee Break, you can send, of course, there's stars here in Facebook. And if you would like to support more, you can actually message us and we'll send you our Gcash details. And another thing that I would like to announce, of course, is that my book, You Can Care for You. This is the book, You Can Care for You. There. The Soul and Science of Self-Care. It's available at Feast Books. So if you would like to get some copies of the books You Can Care for You, you can check it out at feastbooks.ph. Promise, you get the book will bless you so you can bless the world more. Ayan. Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. This is again Dr. Michele Alignay. Next week, magkita-kita ulit tayo for a very interesting discussion on mental health here at Coffee Break with Dr. Michele. God bless everybody.